Be advised, citizens. Watch out for thieves.
A lot of innocent people lost their lives in that attack. It's absolutely unforgivable.
This is your last warning. Stay far away from Lupin III.
I'm the one who will finally catch Lupin III. That's my mission, and no one else stands a chance.
Ew, there's no way you're the Lupin I know.
I should have known.
You're looking at the true arch-villain. I am Lupin III. Boom.
This world isn't big enough for there to be two of me.
And because of your supposed role in the bombing, this country has marked you for death.
Let's pray the grand finale isn't ours.
You've gotten yourself tangled up in a pretty big mess, haven't you?
It is time for us to introduce ourselves.
How do you call it justice when the ones worth saving are gone? It's just too high a cost.
Why take it so far?
Why do you like to steal things?
Unfortunately for you, I'm just a simple cop. All I know how to do is arrest criminals.
He's one tough old bastard.
All right, Team Discotek assemble for our first license announcement of the panel. Lupin III, Zenigata, and the Two Lupins is coming to Blu-ray.
One of the coolest one of these OVAs, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Dynamite look. So, fellas, can you tell us a little bit about this one?
It's the last of the OVA installments that Koike has done, and it's the one that a lot of people are going, is this going to get a disc? It's weirdly missing, and no one's talking about it.
Well, now we're talking about it, so here we go.
Yeah, questions about timing, but we are bringing it to you, and this is going to be coming to Blu-ray later in 2026, so you can complete your Lupin III Takashi Koike OVA collection. Bam! All new license announcement. So let's get right into it. For the Discotek Media Industry Panel at Otakon 2026. You might say the hand up there is to advise you to stop for your own safety, but no, that's a high five. That's what that is. That's a high five. First of all, let's do this the usual way. Anybody know what day it is? Huh, chat? Chat, what day is it, chat? Do you know what day it is? That's right. It's Discotek Day. And on this Discotek Day, we're going to have a lot of great announcements for you. So for our next announcement, once again, I have to give you a caution. Do not fall in love with tigers. Because we are bringing Toradora back to Blu-ray. Now, Justin, this is kind of a full circle thing for you, right? Because you worked on this release for the old publisher.
It is. It's thanks to this show that I got to do a whole lot of discs for NIS America back in the day, including the Blu-rays. And it was really cool to get a chance to jump back in and do them again.
And I don't know about you guys, but when this show came out, I loved it. This was the first, first of its kind,
I very much loved the show. I remember reviewing the DVD when it first came out, and I was very sad that we could not get the clip past YouTube copy protection. I had that clip ready to go.
This show came out when I was a kid, and so it was one of the first anime that I was exposed to that I knew was Japanese, that was anime. So it's pretty interesting to go back to a show like that for me. It's one of the shows that I grew up with. So
making us feel old.
That sound you hear is the rest of us just crumbling into dust.
Rest easy, fans. You won't have to wait much longer. We have, bam, rescued Toradora. Watch out for additional thieves.
So, how's that humble pie tasting? Huh?
like that old promo. It's straight and to the point, and I'm going to be saying "Ahoy!" for weeks. But it's been kind of.
Do you know why we're using that promo, Mike?
Why are we using that promo, Mark?
Nothing else would get past.
Nothing else could get past YouTube's copyright bots.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was ready to give up. They're like, "Why don't you try some of those old short promos? Maybe we'll get by." That was the one that got by.
Well, we get asked about this a lot because it's a classic, and it's been a long and winding road to bring Lupin the Third Part 2 to a modern format. So can you guys talk about the ordeal you had to go through?
For this project, we went back to everything, and the original DVDs we did were 4 years of work. We did one a year, and it took a while to put that out. I went back to all the original files, and essentially we ended up having to redo the dub, everything from the master materials. This time it's not bit starved as much as it was before, because to fit as many episodes, we didn't have as much bit rate on DVD, and so we did it in SD because the upscale wasn't the greatest. But in SD, it's fine. The colors are great. It looks good. It's all on 4 discs and 1 set. It's got all of the dubs, all the subs. We went through and improved and fixed translation errors, everything. So this is kind of like the definitive set for Lupin the Third Part 2.
Would like to point out that it doesn't include any new dubbed material, so it's just everything that currently exists.
So it's I believe it's 78 or 79 of the original English dubbed episodes from the early 2000s that aired on Adult Swim. And then it's the 2 streamline episodes for Aloha Lupin and Albatross: The Wings of Death with the Bob Bergen Lupin, as opposed to Tony Oliver Lupin from the 2000s dub. Those are all in there. If you remember all the stuff that was on the old sets, but better this time, cool outtakes and stuff like that. So I think people will enjoy this. This is a 100% upgrade of the old sets for sure.
I'm definitely of the school of thought that I definitely prefer good standard definition to a questionable upscale.
It looks very good. If you want to know how long we've been working on it, I was working on it last Otakon.
Yeah, it took a while to get through everything for this, because this was a monumental undertaking. Hopefully people will put this right on their shelf with parts 1, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm going to cover that a little bit, since you can still get most of those from Discotek Media. But bam, this is rescued. But let's take a second to admire the cool artwork package that you put together for this, Brady. So we've got the O-ring as usual. And what I like about this, that I noticed when I was assembling these materials, is you take the O-ring off and you have the cover, and that's the same. And then you swip to the inside cover. But look at the spine there. The spine artwork is different. You got a different face for Lupin.
Oh yeah. I just I wanted to make it different. Like I always try to make it so. For instance, like with the original Lupin the Third Part 2, I had Lupin on the spines, and if you flipped it around, you could put every one of the team essentially in a row if you wanted to. Like I try to do little things like that in case you like one or the other. That kind of thing.
Well, touches like that really matter, I think, and it's always good to see. And I also love this particular key art of the gang tumbling.
Yeah, these were done for, I believe, France or something like that. Like the French actually, I believe they had these commissioned for their sets, and we were able to get them for ours, and so we kind of spiced up this set a bit.
Awesome.
It definitely fits with the goofier nature of this particular entry. So
yeah, for sure. I actually really they really captured the style of the show with this art for sure.
And let's check out the beautiful individual disc art.
It's all very similar to the other sets. Like I tried to keep it all consistent so people don't beat me up in the streets.
Right. That's
going to happen anyway.
Is this black and white line art that you clean up, or did you get this from somewhere else, or
This is all from the Sete, so
cool.
And very thankfully, TMS has really, really high quality scans of all of the Sete for all of these series actually. So they're not actually like photocopies like you usually get. They're actually the scans of the direct sketches, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty easy just to clean it up, contrast it a bit and include it.
It's always nice when you can have artwork like that.
For sure.
And so, you can already still get Lupin the Third Part 1, 3, and 4. Those are in stock at the Media OCD store. Not too hard to find elsewhere, but here's where you can fill the gap in and have all 4 of the first Lupin the Third series on Blu-ray disc. And since this is a PowerPoint presentation, I just had to throw in an infographic with color-coded jacket graphics, because we're still your number one source for Lupin the Third. You can get part 1, 2, 3, and 4 from us, and you should. We also have more Lupin for Yupon. We've got some more recent film and special releases that are still in print. And also in the past year, this was not covered in our last Otakon panel, but these came out over the winter. We've got 2 sets of 5 TV specials from the 90s. Can you talk about those for a quick second?
We collected, they're all in HD. They're actually really good scans. And, they have all the dubs from back when they were created. The ones from the UK, the ones from the US, like everything that we could include on these, we did. We tried to one-up ourselves from the original single releases we did, because we did all of them on singles first, and then now we're collecting them in case you missed them.
Well, I think what's very important is that a few of those specials did not come out on Blu-ray initially. So this
correct.
is the way
Some
to
of them
get them
are
on
DVD
Blu-ray.
only. Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah. And I mean, you have all the cool Dazaki ones from the earlies, and then it's kind of interesting to watch them all too, because it's kind of like you get to see how anime kind of changed with the times through Lupin, really, because like they all, after the Dazaki ones, they all become sort of different styles in themselves, really, with different people interpreting Lupin the Third. So it kind of gets kind of interesting the further you go into these.
Awesome.
Especially like Island of Assassins and around that era, it gets to be really, really kind of interesting.
Yeah, and if you want to like read all about that sort of thing, these sets have pretty good liner notes and essays and things, just like the singles did.
Oh yeah, we did. We went back and updated all that stuff too. Yeah, so that we tried to fill these things out and give them context, because they're parts of history, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I remember a few of the essays. I had to go, this actually isn't true anymore. It was when we did it last time, but this does not apply anymore.
All right. Well, now that we're almost 15 minutes into the program, let's review our agenda. Please follow the stock art of the man in the cargo pants as he inspects his Symphogear collection. We started it with the Sizzler trailer, the annual Every Night Sing Along. Good job, everyone. We could hear you singing along at home.
Yay!
We're going to be doing trailers and announcements tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Discotek Media, about our work. We're going to do more trailers and more announcements. And danger, everyone! We're we are on a rescue mission. That's what this is. There's lots of licensed rescues, lots of bringing the classics back. So we wanted to set the tone there about rescue and public safety. So danger, be advised. Let's meet our hosts, and let's go with the left, starting and just go down. So Justin, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do for Discotek.
Well, I'm Justin Savakis. I run a company called Media OCD, and we are most of the production and also the marketing part of Discotek. So you might see a lot of us in the wild, and even though we do our own stuff sometimes, Discotek keeps us busy most of the time.
David?
Yep. Hi, I'm David Miranda. I am Media OCD's post-production manager, according to our new business cards. Yeah, I handle most of the restoration side of the outfit. Whenever we get like new material, new scans and things, I'm the one that kind of like evaluates them, and I do all the disc authoring most of the time, and I handle most of the actually putting things together of the discs. So yeah, that's what I do. I will not be attending the real life panel. Justin will be, and so will Mike and Brady, I believe. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you get to hear me here, but not there.
Mark, tell us about yourself.
I'm Mark. I am in charge of quality control. I also do the social media. If you enjoy or don't enjoy the various not good clues, that is mostly me. And various times I'm running around scrounging for other stuff. Sometimes I'll produce a title. Sometimes I'll help with other stuff. Just making sure things work, basically.
And Brady, how about you?
Hi, I'm Brady Hartle. I'm a longtime producer, graphic designer. I've worked on tons of titles. I'm usually known as like the Lupin guy, I guess. I work on a lot of Lupin. That we're actually running out of Lupin, which I'm kind of glad for.
Well, we're catching up on Lupin. That's what we're doing.
Catching up on it. Yeah. We're not running. They're always making Lupin, but we're catching up on it. So it's an interesting place to be. But I've worked on a lot of titles. I usually try to make the stuff I work on extra special, be it something as cool as Lupin or as goofy as the Darkstalkers and Street Fighter cartoons from the 90s. But yeah, that's sort of what I do.
All right. And my name is Mike Toole. I'm an associate producer for Discotek. A lot of what I do at this point is I produce events like this because I got involved initially partly to run these industry panels because I saw how bad a lot of industry panels were at American conventions and I wanted to show them up. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. A lot of these panels, they do their best, but they tend to be like low engagement and kind of samey, and we try to bring something extra. So yeah, that's a rescue helicopter in the middle. That's what that clip art is, doing all the rescues. It's got a giant Blu-ray player and it's got rotors that are way too small. And you might be thinking, oh, Logan. Yeah, there's Logan too. Where is he? Well, Logan's missing. If you're in the room at Otakon, Logan is there. That's where he is. And Brady, myself, and Justin are in two places at once, just like Time Cop.
I will not be there because I will be here posting on the social media.
That's right. That's right. Mark will be updating our social channels. We'll be patrolling and getting all the information to you, the fans. So I'll do the quick story behind Discotek Media because I always like to do this, even though the general manager of Discotek is just like, no, don't tell them about us. Discotek Media is a Blu-ray publisher based in Florida near Tampa, and it's not a normal company with an office and employees. Discotek actually leverages a global network of freelancers to make the best darn discs in the business, and we literally have people all over the planet, including all the way down in New Zealand, and that's how far we reach. We have operators working in Japan on restoration projects. We've got people all across North America. We've got translators, graphic designers, and we do that to make what we think are some of the best Blu-rays in the business. And it's not just anime. We also do Japanese cinema, tokusatsu, and Western cartoons. And we think we are your best source for physical media on standard def on Blu-ray, Blu-ray disc, and UHD 4K. And that is all. So with that, we can make another public safety announcement. Warning, folks. Board the Shibuya train promptly, just like in this next title.
Look to the past as we head for the future to reclaim the digital world. With faith in ourselves and trust in each other, we live by the lessons we've learned. As we work towards one solution through a spirit evolution.
All right, we've got another chapter in the Digimon saga coming to Blu-ray for the very first time, Digimon Frontier. So, Mark, you're a Digimon guy. Tell us all about it.
The last of the original run of Digimon shows, this one actually looked a bit better, and I think it came out looking very nice in HD. The cover, we made sure it matched what we were doing with the other shows. The one difference was the only art we had of who we would probably normally put there, Agunimon, didn't really fit the space that well, so we went with Aldemon instead. Just, filled out the space a bit better. Bit of a different Digimon show. Bit more Saint Seiya Super Sentai Power Rangers type, where they turn into the Digimon instead.
Yeah, it's the Digimon are not their buddies; they actually transform into them,
Yeah.
and it's very important. They have to take the Shibuya train to the digital world in this one, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah. Okay, good. I got that right.
Yes.
And this is the last season that's Digimon Digital Monsters, right?
Yes. After that, they started going with different titles, even out here. This one had a bit of a different logo than the first two seasons, but still same title.
Also to a completely different theme song as well.
Some company stuff happened. They didn't have access to the music, so they made new music. The entire show is closed captions if you need them. We went through those to make sure terms were correct and everything. Subtitled release will be coming later for those who want in Japanese.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, it looks
Exactly.
great. It looks so
Yeah,
good in high definition.
I think it probably came out the best of the original 4 shows.
Wow.
Yes, I would agree with that. The video sources we had were very, very good for the most part.
Yeah.
There's some parts where it's like, it's going to
There
look
were-
as
there-
good as it can get. But
Yeah,
I mean,
a few
overall,
odd moments.
yeah.
But generally, I'm very happy with how this one came out.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to take a closer look at some of the artwork, but bam, we can mark this one as rescued. So caution, more cool art coming ahead. So let's take a look at that O-ring and the packaging. Yeah, you can see here there is the brag on the back for the features, captions for the hearing impaired. And yeah, I see what you mean about how we've got this matching the look of the rest of the sets, and that's cool, man. That's important. And here's our reversible cover.
For the reverse, we had slightly better art. Brady was able to make it fit, and it really looks nice with all the characters.
Yeah, and as with the other releases, the Japanese will use this as the O-ring, and then the other will be on the inside, like we did with all the other ones too.
Yeah.
We have like the Japanese one has like all the kids on it, and then the American one usually just has like the goggle kid essentially. So look forward to that too.
Let's take a peek at the discs.
Oh yeah, these were really fun. I got to draw all these eyes for this one because
yeah, we continued the eye theme, although a number of the characters don't quite have normal eyes. So in a few, they're more stylistic representations of the characters because it wasn't quite going to work.
Yeah, so I think it came out cool. And we have this theme of them being the eyeball through all the different seasons. So it was cool to be able to do them for all 4 seasons, which I don't think has been done before. So
yeah, I did throw in a hey, look what we did slide just to have all 4 of those first 4 season sets. And this is what makes this stuff pop, I think, is giving that visual consistency and continuity to all these different seasons. It really makes you want to put it on your shelf with what looks like your phone books and your diaries and whatnot, Mr. Cargo Pants Man.
He looks like he's from the 2000s, like these shows.
Just like the shows, exactly. So we're going to move on to yet another warning. In dangerous situations, remember, you have to follow instructions from your 12-year-old teacher, Becky.
ルーズに恋する乙女はダイヤモンドで眩しい太陽からあと乱反射の季節よピチピチオーラビバンバンバンバンどこを見ているのよお尻キュートでクラクラしてるのねローズは危ないフェロモンこっちを向いたらイチコロウインクキラあと第三者の季節よセクシーオーラビバンバンバンバン何をしているのよこの魅力に気づかない菜の花風に揺れて私も風になる菜の花手招きをしてミツバチいすぎだわちょっと危険な感じブンブンブブブン黄色いバカンスよブンブンブブブン黄色いバカンスよブンブンブブブン黄色いバカンスよブンブンブブブン黄色いバカンスよ
That's right. You will believe that a 12-year-old can teach homeroom class. Coming back on standard def on Blu-ray, it's Pani Pony Dash. So this was an interesting show, right? This was there were a few shows like this in the early and mid 2000s that were gag comedies where the central gag was the teacher is not the kind of person you expect, and so the students bully them relentlessly, and the teacher bullies them right back.
Yes.
Fun stuff.
It basically just nonstop gags.
Yeah. This is one of those shows that just it feels like they're just yelling at each other constantly, and
also there's some really deep cuts in this too. Like if you're like really deep into anime, it's like that kind of like really really obscure references.
There were so many references that there was one point I remembered. I paused it, and I went, "When did this show air?" And I checked the dates, and I'm like, "That movie only came out in the U.S. like 2 months before the show came to air, and they slid in a joke to a movie or a TV show that could not have aired in Japan yet at that point and barely came out here.
They got all the gags in. What I liked about putting the materials together for this this announcement was going, oh, well, you sent me a talking point about some of the most insane subtitling work you've ever done. And I was like, well, give me some examples. And Logan was just like, oh, it's going to take me a few minutes. I got to open the files back. And like 30 seconds later, he's just like, nope, I didn't have to search far because there's so much of it.
Yeah, it's and this comes back to from when ADV did the DVD back in the day. They really went all out with the subtitles, and so we wanted to not one up them, but kind of
to build on their work, right?
To preserve what they did. Now, I will say that they also did this like ADV notes kind of a little extra thing where like when a reference would come up, like it would pop up with an explanation or something, but we literally don't have the technology to do that again. So that didn't make it through.
Well, let's mark this as rescued because we rescued it, and let's look at some examples of these subtitles. And so this is a relatively tame one because the second one that Logan sent me is really
The fact that he also like not only did he recreate all this, but he found like almost all of the fonts that they had used on the DVD as well, and used the same exact fonts on this stuff was mind blowing to me.
I think I remember a number of them weren't styled, and then he went and styled them to match stuff that already existed to a degree.
Yeah,
he said there were over 50 fonts that he used for this one show. So
because they went kind of nuts on the fonts in this, and he just like was like, I'm gonna plus that.
Aside from the fact that we didn't have materials good enough to get this to high definition, so we went with standard definition. Also, if we tried to do these subtitles in HD, it kind of wouldn't have worked, right?
No,
it would run out of room.
It would, it didn't. No, not possible.
It was the case where we tried. The video didn't really look good enough for HD, but we tried anyways just to see
what it looks like, right?
I think even when we tried to pare down the subtitles, it still didn't work. And at some point, I think the question was asked, we're not getting anything from the HD video. We should probably just make it SD and make the subtitles as good as we can.
Because it's the source of this is pretty soft, as you can probably see. Like even on this stream, I can see how soft it is.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot more rescues to conduct and a lot more warnings to give to the public. So here's another warning. Remember, if you're the prince, you need to stay inside the castle walls at all times. Unless... That is an opening that goes hard for Tales of the Abyss.
Wow! Yeah.
This is from the legendary JRPG franchise, Tales of the Abyss, and this seems like no surprise to me. We've done Tales anime on Blu-ray before, so this is just another one.
I think this is probably one of the better JRPG to anime adaptations, though.
Yeah.
It has the room to breathe. The episodes are pretty long. I want to say there were 25 or 26 minutes each. characters all get their moment in the sun. It just works really well as an adaptation of a game, at least for me.
Yeah, and it looks great in high definition.
Yeah.
It's Japanese with subtitles. Mark, you wanted me to point out the theme song is from a band called Bump of Chicken, and it's just like Bump of Chicken are one of Japan's most beloved rock and roll bands. they're like a Japanese version of Green Day or Oasis in terms of popularity, and yeah, they've been around for like 30 years.
The band is so popular that the intro is so long. I had to send multiple notes to Mike ahead of time. Going, Mike, you can't put the full because they do a whole.
There's a whole prologue. Yeah, there's a whole prologue that we had to leave, and even so, the intro itself is 2 minutes instead of the standard 90 seconds. And I'm sure something to do with that was probably Bump of Chicken saying, "Hey guys, don't edit us."
Probably.
Tales of the Abyss, the complete series, another one that we rescued, and it's coming to Blu-ray later in 2026. Bam, rescued. Remember, warning: you should always have the proper robot vehicle to do crimes.
Labor. A robot specifically designed for heavy industrial work. The rise of labors propagated a revolution in industry, but also in criminal activity. The police therefore created a special unit, the patrol labor, and thus, the birth of Pat Labor.
All right. I'm sure when we released the OVAs on Blu-ray, that was a clue for some of you, but we are bringing back Pat Labor on television. 47 episodes of comedy, drama, and police procedural are coming back to Blu-ray.
Boy, was this some deja vu for me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, this was something that was being worked on for home video when you first came in at Central Park Media, right, Justin?
Yeah, that was when the dub was being made, and honestly, the dub has its issues, but it's still quite watchable and it's a lot of fun. That said, the previous Blu-ray release only had an edited version of the first, I think, 16 or so episodes. But I don't know where that came from because we were easily able to find the whole episodes. And so we were able to just do a normal release of them. So this is the complete dub on this release. So that's good.
I'm pretty sure the edited version came from like Toonami Jetstream or something like that. They edited it for Toonami. Yeah, for Toonami. I think that's wherever that came from. Yeah.
Well, regardless, we were able to improve the video quality quite a bit. There was some weird interlacey stutter in the masters that we were able to get out of these. And the subtitles have been drastically improved as well.
That's good to hear. You always want upgrades when we're bringing stuff back.
Yeah, we had multiple documents between us going over stuff in the subtitles, checking stuff as much as we could.
Well, this will be coming out to home video soon. We can mark this down as rescued. And hang on to your seat, folks, because we've got more warnings for you. Oh, that looks familiar. For best results, always add extra Pat Labor.
Isn't that just the quintessential style for an OVA opening in the late 80s and 90s?
My God, I feel like it should be echoing through a library convention hall.
Well, you have to have a super serious, gritty opening monologue, and then have the most bubbly, adorable pop song you've ever heard.
I just want to point out every piece of music from this franchise is excellent.
Yeah.
That's the kind of song where you're walking around a convention in the 90s and you hear it from one of the screener rooms. You go, huh, and you go in and look in, and then you sit down for 2 hours watching it.
So this is an interesting one because I believe that there's 16 episodes. I believe they were intended originally to be part of the TV show, but then they didn't make the cut, and then they later released them straight to video. Is that correct?
I think it was just OVA follow-up. I don't think they were going to be part of the show.
Well, at any rate, it continues one of the major themes, one of the major running plot lines of the TV series.
Yes.
And they basically serve as additional TV episodes. However, Central Park Media couldn't really make this show work for them back in the day, so the dub ends after the first 4 episodes, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, those 4 episodes are pretty much the biggest plot line of the show, though. So
even more Pat Labor has been rescued and is coming to you. So look forward to it. And in the meantime, we have another warning, another advisory for the public, and he looks familiar too. So for superior results, add additional extra Pat Labor.
Come on, cannon fodder! I'm here just for you!
They keep increasing!
All right, and there's one of the greatest action scenes you've ever seen for the Pat Labor movies. Not just Pat Labor Movie 1, where the clip came from, but the entire trilogy is coming back to Blu-ray.
I love these movies so much.
Never get tired of seeing them.
Although, seeing that clip, all I could think of was the old manga video announcer going, Pat Labor, the movie.
That's what sticks with you, right?
Of course.
But yeah, these are actually going to be 3 films on one release too. You're not going to have to buy them separately this time.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't go into too much detail about this release so far, but we can say that it will be well worth the upgrade if you like these movies even slightly.
At one point, me and Justin were talking about just how happy we are with how everything about them is. It looks fantastic. I think people will really enjoy what the set is.
If you're a Pat Labor nerd, this will quench every desire.
Yes.
Including, it also has the mini Pato stuff in it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are so weird and funny, and
they were something
different.
They
are a good way to finish off the set.
They were very Mamoto Oshii.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, all these releases are a Pat Labor of love for the fans, so.
You were saving that one.
So we can mark not just the TV series and the new files, but also the movie trilogy. Rescued, baby. We're bringing them all back. So we're going to pause for a second to pose the question, where can I buy all of these great Discotek releases on home video? Well, in fact, your best place to buy Discotek media releases is at Media OCD, the Media OCD store. Justin, can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, months ago, a couple of months ago when we saw the writing on the wall and it seemed like one of the major storefronts for Discotek product was probably not going to be what we needed it to be anymore, I basically decided to beef up the crappy little Wix store that I threw up in a weekend a couple years ago and turn it into a real e-commerce site. So we hired our friend Steven, who's been working his butt off, and we completely rebuilt the website, and now it's a much more robust place where we are stocking. Slowly, we're trying to stock everyone's Blu-rays, not just ours. So if We want to be the place that you find your classic anime.
Yeah, and the big blockbuster sales, those aren't as frequent, but you've got a loyalty program and you've got stock, right? You actually have the discs.
Yes, almost everything Discotek is in stock at this point. We have 2 more months of deep dives left to go to refill the back catalog, but after that, we will have everything Discotek.
Yeah, and that's over 300 releases. Will be.
Yeah, it's closing on 400. It's
goodness.
A lot of discs. But if it's in print, we will have it. And we're starting to fill out some other publishers as well. So
yeah, and also when new releases hit, Amazon has been pretty good about stocking them. Although don't wait too long because those tend to disappear from Amazon after a little while. Amazon likes the new freshness, and we also have some smaller partners. One we always like to shout out is Diabolic because they are very good about stocking the Japanese cinema and tokusatsu releases. So if you want a few options, here are some options for you to buy our stuff on video. Moving on to our next one. Oh, this is a favorite. Beware, watch out for falling skyscrapers because when the buildings start to crumble and the fissures open up in the streets, that's when you know it's showtime.
Casting the name of God, I don't care, just now it's showtime. The future destiny, so must go on, I must go on. Forget my life, I got my mind. The battle goes on, my game goes on.
What a show. And that's right, it's showtime. Big O is coming back to Blu-ray. The whole entire series, the Big Red Tomato, coming back on home video. And this is going to be
one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, a huge favorite of mine. This is one of those things where I've met the creators many times. I was a big fan of it in the 2000s, and I can't wait to enjoy it once again in Japanese and with the legendary English dubbed version. And for this release, this does bring something new to the table, right? Because season 2 now includes the 5.1 audio mix of the English dub.
Correct. Yeah. The thing with this is the previous release was missing that 5.1 mix, so we were able to include it this time just because our authors are awesome and can fit all this stuff. The other thing about this release is the previous release had like encoding issues and it wasn't encoded well. There was interlacing issues and stuff like that. This does not have any of those problems from the previous release. So we were able to spot and make sure none of that stuff slipped through this time. So if you're we're worried about ever getting this because the previous release goes for a lot of money on eBay now. If you waited and again didn't get that release, this release is essentially plussing the old release. So if you didn't get it, you'll be happy with this one for sure. As a big fan of this show, we did as much as we possibly could to make this the best version we possibly could.
Well, let's tag this as rescued and take a quick look at the artwork.
Yeah, this is a fun one to do because all of it's so iconic looking, especially the artwork on the front with Roger and the Big O, which was the promo poster, the original promo poster when they announced it on, what was it, Wow Wow, I think. So and
yeah,
it was
I think
cool
I've
to be
got
able
this artwork on a pencil board. That's where it was ending up. All sorts of interesting places.
Yeah. I remember this was the first visual I ever saw of it when it was announced for Toonami, and back then it was like a 250 pixel wide JPEG or something. I was like, "What is this show?
Yeah,
it looks so weird and interesting." So it's such a cool and iconic. Obviously, inspired by the Batman animated series, but you know. Good guys still wear black, but now with robots, right?
Yep. And this is the inside cover, another great piece of key art.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Like, this is the artwork that you had to use because you then just went ahead and used it on the discs.
Yeah, I like that the discs are very minimalist too, with the like them sort of fading into the black. Like it came out nice. I am really glad to be able to try and do this show justice.
Well, that's the Big O coming soon. Now, remember, we need to stay in touch. So one way to stay in touch with Discotek Media is to go to the website and subscribe to our newsletter. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything except providing your email address. And our clip art girl there is wondering, wait, am I saying that or the phone? Also, you can follow us on our social channels. The website does have some information, but it's easier to get up to date information on Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky.
Also, I should point out that we recently merged the Discotek newsletter with the Media OCD newsletter. I mean, it's mostly the same people anyway, and we're doing mostly the same thing, so might as well.
But moving on to even more announcements, because we still got several, we're going to be releasing the third installment in a collection of movies. So make sure you complete that prestigious film collection.
Any sign of Darkmon, sir?
Not yet. If she does not return soon, a Guniman can lead us. Wait, Takuya! It's an ambush!
どんな時も最後の最後まで諦めずに戦う。それが男の生きる道なんじゃないのか？
兄貴！
究極体のデジモンは殴り倒せる人間がいたなんて。
お前の最後の一撃が俺のハートに火をつけたんだ。
Well, that is quite a package. We have the third installment of the Digimon movies coming to Blu-ray. So what can we expect here?
Well, first, since we announced Frontier earlier, we decided to give it a bit of space before announcing it, just so it wasn't quite in a row. First up is the Digimon Frontier movie, which Japanese with subtitles and a restored version of the English dub from that aired on TV a few times 20 years ago. And that's in HD. The Digimon Savers movie will be in HD, subbed only, first time on video in the US. It's never gone to release here before. And then probably the one that will most confuse and or interest people is X Evolution, which was a TV special in 2005, and then it got a DVD in Japan, and outside of one or two random live streams they've done where they've shown it, it sort of has just vanished. Because it's basically a CGI Digimon movie.
And it's like an hour and a half or something like that too. It's pretty long.
Yeah, about an hour 20 long. Frontier has the dub, like we said. We weren't able to dub the other two. We looked into it, just wasn't able to be done. So we made sure the subs were nice. The main thing I would say is X Evolution does not have a lot of assets. It's not like a Pixar film. In fact, the studio that made it is gone entirely. We're still figuring out how the video will look for that one, and what will happen. That one is probably going to look rough regardless, but it will be here for the first time with English subtitles. And I believe since 2006 and maybe a reprint a year or two later in Japan on DVD, there has been no release of this anywhere.
Fantastic. So this is something that we can mark as rescued, but also all new. Old stuff and new stuff. That's pretty great. So we're going to move on to our next warning. And that warning is, against cyborgs, only trust your fists. And what I recommend is 5-arm.
からやってきて緑の地球を救うもの赤い正義の血を燃やし銀の機械の腕振るうそれはそれはそれは金の心を持つ男海を山をふるさと五つの腕で守る五つの愛の腕でライダーライダースーパーライダー仮面ライダースーパーワン
That's right, Tokusatsu fans. Don't worry, we were not neglecting you. We were just waiting for the good stuff because Kamen Rider Super 1 Flash kicks its way to Blu-ray coming next. That's going to be 48 episodes of Cyborg smashing action as this version of Kamen Rider on his big chunky touring bike uses his 5 arms, his special attacks to fight the bad guys. And this has never been released on physical media in high definition, has it?
No. I think a number of people guessed and hoped we would announce this after Skyrider was the same situation. So we're very pleased that it will finally be out there in HD for people.
So this streamed in HD, but was never on home video.
No physical, not yet.
Indeed, yeah.
We get to be
not
first.
even in Japan. There's no
Yeah.
Blu-ray there yet. No.
And so this is going to be in Japanese with subtitles, and it's going to be coming your way later in 2026. And this again, this isn't a rescue. We can mark this one all new. And just wanted to give a shout out to our Tokusatsu fans for our Toku Time sub-label because we've been working hard for you guys just to make it so it's never been a better time to be a Kamen Rider fan. These are all of our releases that have come out to date. So much Kamen Rider. And yeah, that makes 8. Pretty cool. And it's crazy. It's only been 4 years since we started doing Kamen Rider, huh? So we've very reliably been doing a couple of these a year. Please keep an eye out for our Tokusatsu releases. Those are coming back into stock at online outlets like Media OCD. We want to make sure you can get them. So be on the lookout. And also be on the lookout for penguins. Because remember, if you want robust health, add 2 brothers to 3 penguins.
くるくる回る君の瞳探して回る駅のホーム響くファンファーレガラガラ音を立てる街とりあえず耳を貸してみたのもうすぐ消えるはずの世界にごめんねもう二度と会えないようなそんな気がして運命が笑う臨界点突破してんだ限界ならすでに去って絶対的支配だって崩壊終末理論は机上の空論でしかないって0と1の世界線の果てから叫ぶよもうすぐ君が会いに来るような気がして僕は目を閉じるよ
Oh, so good.
So good. And it just looks incredible. It looks so good. Mawaru Penguin Drum coming back on Blu-ray. And that's significant, right? Because the previous release of this was plagued with technical issues.
Yeah, it was interlaced, and the company that released it couldn't really handle interlaced video all that well, and so it kind of looked pulled through a keyhole. This is full 24p, it looks gorgeous, and it is exactly what you're expecting when you buy a modern HD show.
Mm-hmm. And all 24 episodes of this surreal classic, because it is a classic, that's how old it is now. in Japanese with the subtitles and dubbed in English. And this is going to be coming later in 2026. We'll mark this as rescued.
Yeah, this when we got this show, I begged to do the packaging because I feel like it was never given, like the video was never given its dues. So I tried to make it look as cool as the fans would hope it looked. So I think it came out really well. Like I just wanted to make sure it was something that was going to look nice on your shelf.
For sure. And once again, another really wonderful reverse cover.
Yeah, all the key art it was so hard to pick key art because for this show we actually got like all of the Japanese packaging art, so I had a lot to choose from. So
it
yeah,
wasn't
it was
like
a
you
lot.
had 3 pieces of art and you had to keep using it over and over.
Yeah, and it was hard. It was hard to choose like what would be the actual cover. And these two seemed to be the most evocative of the show, so I ended up using these of the brothers and such. So yeah, and the discs. I mean, I had like a lot of art to choose for these two, and I tried to pick like some of the coolest, most moody art for the discs as well. Make it really as slick as possible because I really wanted the upgrade of the disc itself to match what was on the shelf.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I heard about the technical issues that the previous home video release got, and I kind of stayed away. So I'm looking forward to actually getting a nice version of it. All right, let's move on because we still got more for you. We've got yet another warning, and this warning is regarding 4K Ultra HD. Always increase your resolution to 3840 by 2160. And that's right, Memories is coming to 4K Ultra HD, our latest 4K disc. And
I guess I better finish authoring this.
Well, you got a little time, right?
Yeah, it's such a great movie. We obviously wanted to take our time with it, make sure the HDR was perfect, and it's important. It's probably one of the most important films we've ever worked on.
Yeah, and there's not a lot to say about this specific release beyond the fact that we got a 4K master, and so it's going to be in 4K now.
It's like it was before, just an upgrade essentially.
Yeah, very little difference between the two discs.
Yeah. So I guess marking it as rescued may be a little superfluous because there were significant upgrades last time, but in any case, you're going to be able to get it on the greatest format. And here's a quick peek at the artwork, which again this is quite similar to what was done on the Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, though we did get new key art for a reversible cover that was for the 30th anniversary, which is this. Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, that way we were able to use that, and also the disc is a new piece of artwork as well, which actually we think looks really cool. It'll look really cool when you open it. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Sexy.
Yeah, this was a joy to dig back into because I really loved I really didn't deviate originally from the Japanese packaging because I thought it looked so cool, and be able to use like even cooler artwork this time around was a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Well, just by way of reminder, Discotek Media is in 4K. We've got several 4K releases already on the books. That is the specialty format of specialty formats of today. But we are definitely keeping up and trying to give you some more of the good stuff, at least a couple a year. So if you've got a great 4K HDR display and a 4K player, make sure to check our releases out. So we're coming towards the end of the main program, so this is where we just like to go over our recent releases. And I'm sure some of you are looking at some of our announcements tonight and thinking, oh, it's all just license rescues. Why aren't there more new announcements? Well, the fact is, an awful lot of our work is rescuing and rescuing and rescuing, and sometimes new stuff, but we do a lot of work just bringing older material back to new formats. So, even with our last wave of releases in June, that was pretty heavy on that. And our upcoming releases too, it's a lot of rescues and some new stuff. The Sergeant Frog movies, that Zegapane set that I can't wait to get because it has the sequel movies that have never been released on home video before, and wonderful Hanayori Dango, one of my favorite 90s shoujo shows coming back to video, and also live action cinema as well. We'll be talking about that later. Our future releases, we're going to end on a bit of a tease, but don't worry, we'll get to it. Digimon Frontier, The Big O, Lupin the Third Part 2, Toradora, Penguin Drum, Kamen Rider Super 1, and a few more titles that we're going to be going to later because we're after the 1 hour program, we've got some extra stuff. But I will tell you right now that these releases are going to be available for pre-order later tonight at mediaocd.com. So
they might, in fact, be up by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
Even without the mystery titles, that is a crazy lineup for 1 month.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a huge...
Well, we seem to have shifted from 3 or 4 releases a month to 6 to 8 releases a quarter, and I think that's fair enough, right?
I think some of this too is just how the approvals process happened too with a lot of these big guys.
We've had a lot of log jabs lately, and we're finally clearing through them. It's nice to see.
Well, as we come to the end of our big main program, we always like to point out, yes, this is the end. It's not a false end at all. There are definitely no further announcements to make. Oh, wait, there's one last one we saved for the end. And this
is my favorite announcement, Mike, because, we'll explain why after they see it.
Well, let's start with a good pizza.
Will somebody please cue that boy?
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh yeah!
Who do you call when you want some pepperoni?
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Right on!
They're stamping out crime, and you know that ain't baloney. They're Speedy Cerviche, he's the leader of the bunch.
That's right.
A heck of a fighter, makes a heck of a lunch. And little Polyester, who's never afraid of going into battle when the bad guys invade. Here's Guido Anchovy, a wild romantic rover. This cat gets down with a love hangover.
Here come the Pizza Cats.
They're so bad, they've got more fur than any turtle ever had.
Stronger than old cheese.
Stronger than old cheese.
Stronger than dirt.
Stronger than dirt.
You step on their tail.
Out of my tail.
And you're gonna get hurt.
Don't hurt me.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
They're fighting crime all over town.
3, 2, 1. Pizza Cats are on the run.
The big cheese is the villain who's lower than low. It's a rotten shame he lives in Little Tokyo. We've got a nasty bad bird and some nasty ninja crows. As soon as someone finds a script, we might begin the show. Sit right back, kick up your feet, and turn the sound up high. And if you want the full effect, go eat a pizza pie.
Classic opening to one of the great shows, but man, that looked like that was in high definition. What's going on here?
Because it is in high definition.
Yeah, they remastered it all from the original film stock for the Japanese show and recreated all the English titling. They recreated the edit. They really wanted the show to exist in HD, and it looks amazing.
As a person who recreates titles of janky looking shows in HD, they really went all out and found the fonts and everything for this. I was shocked to see the title screens are like exactly the same as the old janky ones.
And I must say, we attempted to do a re-edit of this before and chickened out because it was too hard. So
intimidating, right? Because it's there's a lot of cuts to this. There's a lot of shuffling.
Every cut is trimmed by a couple frames.
Because back in the day, what Saban did is they had a system where it would time compress things, so it would find things at the end of every scene and then cut things. So like to do that manually would be ridiculous.
And someone had to have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very high effort. Very appreciated. I'm sure like many people will absolutely love this.
I'm very happy it exists. Very happy I didn't have to make it.
Exactly.
We were all very surprised to see that they'd not just remastered the Japanese version, but also did this, which is like, yeah.
Oh, when we heard that it was going to be in HD, I expected to see some sort of weird bad upscale or something. And then when I got linked the masters and I downloaded it and saw it for myself, I was like, holy crap, they really did this. Like they really remastered this.
Wow. No, Mark, tell us about why you find this particular announcement so amusing.
Because a different publisher had a giant banner for it at recent conventions. I think they have streaming, not the disc, so it is possibly the only time we will ever get to announce a title that when people were guessing that we had it, someone else went, people were going, "No, this was just announced 2 weeks ago by another company. There's no way they're."
Couldn't be, right? There's just no way. There's just no way. Well, we found a way. It's a split license. These things happen. So this release is going to have closed captions for the 52 episodes. And for the purists, do not worry. There will be a separate release of the Japanese version of Kato Ninden Teande. But yeah, this is... I can't wait to see this again, man. It's always a pleasure. This is the show that taught me who Paul Lynde and Charles Nelson Riley were. So, very important cultural lessons in this show. This will be coming later on in the year. And Samurai Pizza Cats, we can mark as rescued. So that's the end of our program. If you're at Otakon, that we'll be wrapping it up. But don't worry, that's not all, because you can point your devices at our YouTube channel, which you're probably already watching, to see bonus announcements for the online stream only. And that's what we're going to move right on to. Let's check out the bonus downloadable content. So what do we have? We have more announcements. We got some more content for you. So let's move on to our next rescue mission announcement. Remember, just in case the gravity collapses and you need to escape, board that rescue ship immediately. 'All right, we're keeping the dream of the 90s alive because we are bringing back a 90s title. Infinite Rivius is returning to home video on Blu-ray for the very first time. And this is an interesting one. It's a survival science fiction. It's about escaping on a ship, the Rivius, and enduring many trials in the process. The producers tipped this as sort of an allegorical retelling of Lord of the Flies. And anyone want to speak to it real quick?
I think the one thing to bring up is the video for this one is a bit odd because I don't remember if it was actually late 90s or if it was more while they were changing technologies and stuff a bit later. I don't fully remember, but it's kind of a mix of HD, upscaled SD masters. The quality can jump around a bit, but that's just how the show was made, and it appears they went to quite a bit of effort to make it as nice as they could based on that. We fixed up the subtitles. It has the classic dub. It also, I remember correctly, has the Japanese 5.1 mix, which is actually a different mix. Like they changed some of the songs.
Yeah, it's completely different mix.
We had to do a unique subtitle track for that because things are just different in that version of the show.
The standout thing about this show is that the music is so is ingrained in a lot of like that R&B and hip hop kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So for the 5.1, they went pretty much all out on what they could, and
I want to say they even added vocals to some existing instrumentals. I think.
Yeah, the opening is like very, very different too. Like it's a totally different experience if you watch it with the Japanese 5.1. But you can also watch it with the original stereo mix in Japanese as well as the dub.
So is it a situation like with IGPX where both English dubs have two completely different soundtracks essentially?
No, it's more that when they went back to it later, they just decided. I'm not sure amp up is the right term, but
Like plus it essentially.
Yeah, in some cases it feels more like they decided to change a few things rather than necessarily. I don't. It's hard to say better because sometimes it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the opening in the old version is a bit cleaner and smoother, but it's a bit more musically interesting in the 5.1 if I'm remembering the songs correctly.
That's still cool though that it's two different experiences. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. And you got those great Hisashi Hirai character designs. People say, "Oh, he draws all the same faces." No, this is pretty distinctive. This is different from his work on Scryed, which is different from his work on Gundam Seed. But this is kind of the anime of the era. This is what it was like, and we rescued it for you. So look forward to it. And we're going to start with this monster themed one because what you want to do if you're building a homunculus, you're building a golem of some kind. Don't name it Frank. Don't name it after Frankenstein's monster. Don't do that.
あなたの傷ついた心を抱きしめ儚い夢を見る巡る時の流れいつかせき止めて溢れるこの想いそっと沈めて足早に通り過ぎる人たち移ろい続ける悲しみの色佇む私にささやきかける風の中舞い降りる沈黙のエンジェル乾いた音が聞こえてくる寂しさ戸惑う指先にそっといつまでも二人触れ合って溶けてゆく時まで
All right, we're bringing yet another classic Sunrise show back to home video. Argento Soma is coming to standard definition on Blu-ray. And yeah, I was making the Frankenstein jokes because that's kind of what this is. This is a Frankenstein allegory in the same way that Infinite Rivius was a Lord of the Flies one. It has its roots in literature. And we're bringing this one back to home video. All 26 episodes on a SD-BD disc in Japanese and dubbed in English. And anything to say about this from the production team?
I kind of like anytime a show goes with the vein of what monsters will we create to stop the monsters and seeing the twists therein is all I will say on this one.
All I can remember is this was heavily compared to Evangelion at the time.
Oh yeah, it was one of several shows that were just like, well, it's got mecha and it's kind of high concept. It's a psychodrama, right? So it has to be similar to Evangelion in some way. But this is going to be coming to home video once again later on in 2026. So look forward to that coming soon. We can mark Argento Soma as rescued. Now let's push on to some announcements relating to our Japanese cinema label, Nihon Nights. We got a couple of new releases coming your way of some great 70s so-called pinky violence films. But our first warning is be careful. Watch out for shivs and screwdrivers because we got some stabby female convicts ahead.
Heide. Shinpeiさんかい？今日からお前たちの仲間になる松島奈美だ。仲良くしてやってくれ。
任しときな。第八坊といや模範囚の集まりじゃないか。
私が仲良く抱っこして寝てあげるから。
やめてよ。盛りのついた猫みたいに夜中にギャーギャー埋めかれたんじゃかなわないよ。
じたまえトラブルを起こさないように仲良くやってくんだいいな
担当さんよ婚約者の前だからって生きがらなくたっていいんだよ
ダメだと許さんぞそこだ
That's right. That is some gritty prison action, courtesy of new female prisoner Scorpion 701, busting out on Blu-ray. Now, female prisoner Scorpion, that's kind of an institution in Japan, right? It's kind of a big franchise, but these are not the original movies. It's a reboot from not even all that much later, huh? 1976. And in this one, it's Yumi Takigawa as the toughest prisoner in a savage, pinky violent spectacle. And this is the first time on home video in the US and the first time on Blu-ray anywhere. And this is going to be coming later in 2026. Any of you guys have anything to say about the production of this?
I like any time we get these films and they are remastered nicely, but they have just a bit of grunge to them. So you can kind of imagine watching in an old theater. It matches the mood of the movie so nicely. It just elevates it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, if you watch the terrifying girls' high school films from Discotek, then this has the same kind of look to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks really nice in HD. Yeah, it's an HD master remastered from the film, and yeah, that's just not been released on Blu-ray even in Japan, so it's the first time.
So this is all
for
new.
any physical. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we got some great cult Japanese cinema coming your way. And hang on to your seats because there's more where that came from.
Sensei, お帰りの前に面白いものをお見せしましょう。また女か。村岡君。は。まくれ。は。はい。いかがですか。
So she's back in trouble again. New female prisoner Scorpion Cell Block X is going to be breaking out on Blu-ray as well. And this is Yumi Takigawa returning for even more as the toughest prisoner in a savage pinky violent spectacle. And like the other one, first time on Blu-ray anywhere. And we do want to note that these two films are going to be sold separately.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting story-wise in that the setup for this one, it works both as a sequel to the first, but if you watch it alone, it doesn't depend on it. And if you watch both, you might even notice a few bits where it doesn't quite match up, where they went, we don't want to be locked in as a sequel, even though it clearly is meant to make you think of how the other film ended and characters from it.
Could you compare it to the Sex and Fury and Female Yakuza tale, or
not quite like that? Maybe more like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, where it's meant to set up, but it kind of changes the beginning of the sequel so that it doesn't depend on the first movie.
David, did you have any interesting post-production adventures with these films, or did the masters come in pretty good condition?
No, they were really clean, really nice. Yeah, we have some nightmare projects. These were not one of those. These were pretty.
Yeah, I think
I'm happy
me
for
and David kind of like breezed through these like together. Both of us kind of went, it's nice not to have one that doesn't explode in our faces.
Yeah, this is one of those where you get the material and you're like, you just breathe a sigh of relief because for once it's something simple.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our announcements, these are expected to come your way over the winter. So go ahead and look forward to them, and we'll mark this one all new. Now we're coming towards the end of our downloadable content, but we got a couple of pretty surprising ones to close things off. And one of these is a Western series, an American cartoon. And this one is about aliens. So please avoid a specific haunted New Mexican town for your safety. Quite a thing, right? So
yeah, talk about nightmare project. Just that when we left off on one that was simple, we go to one of the more challenging ones as of late for us.
Interesting. So this is an interesting concept for a show too, right? Because it takes the idea of, oh, Roswell, alien abductions, but like applies all sorts of supernatural phenomena to it, not just the alien stuff.
That's the interesting thing. It sort of goes with the idea that everything supernatural for hundreds of years was in fact aliens, and by the time that Roswell happens, that's when people get wise to it and decide we have to deal with it before it gets us. And the show at times skews very serialized. Characters will return, stories will be ongoing. A lot of the people who worked on it would work on other shows through the 90s that kind of went with the same vein, but very, very good show overall, honestly.
Yeah, it's a very serialized show for a kids cartoon. I remember that. I remember trying to watch it as a kid and it being very hard to get into it because of that.
We had to eyeball episode orders because there's various orders and some of them don't actually work.
Yeah, that's one thing I remember bringing it up to you guys. It's like, hey, there's like a weird, like this has like one of those situations where we need to make sure that the episode order is correct.
Yeah, that tends to happen with these.
It's not 100% clear there is a correct order. We just had to make it as correct as we could. Because there are various different orders that have been used officially. We think it works about as good as it could at this point.
Yeah, taking into account that this show has real continuity, the order is very important. So we try to make it as consistent as possible with the overarching story.
And for this STBD, we were actually able to get the pre-upscaled master. So this looks a bit better than the streaming, right? That's out there right now.
Yeah, actually, we probably got 3 or 4 copies of the masters, and most of them had the same glitches on them. But the one that we ended up going with for all but a handful of episodes are like almost pixel perfect. Like I could not ask for better. There were a handful of episodes where we had to use lower quality copies because that was just all we had. But this is the best this show will probably ever look in the future.
Yeah, it looks really good. I think in the end only 4 or 5 were the lower quality ones, just because there was nothing else. I'd rank the video a bit below Street Sharks, which was, I think, one of the better SDVDs we ever did.
Street Sharks is unusually good.
Yes, this is better than you would expect, especially with what it looked like originally when we had to then be like, this just isn't going to work.
Well, that's pretty exciting because this is definitely one of those shows that has a following online that has people who have been searching out and waiting for episodes.
And I think every other home video release cut off at episode 10 or 20.
Yeah,
I don't.
They only got part way in.
Release.
Yeah. It was never complete on DVD, so for the first time, you can have the entire show in your collection.
Yeah, and closed captions on every episode also.
Yep.
As is the norm for our cartoons nowadays.
Yeah. Very cool. Always good to have. So that's pretty cool. Really, really interesting Western animated series is coming to standard def on Blu-ray. And since this is the first time it's complete. It's not even a rescue. This is all new. It's stuff that's never been on video before. So that's pretty great. Something to celebrate. All right, and I think we only have one more announcement for our extended program, and this is to be careful of ladies with swords. But remember, if an alien princess saves you, let her do it.
A holy knight of Saint Evascares is not about to be fooled so easily.
You forget the duties of a wife. Momo, what were they again?
Oh, yes. You must always back your man.
Oh, yeah. I'm backing my man, Batya, and you're not gonna stop me.
Give me a break! Why can't you just find somebody less repulsive?
Leave me alone! What the hell do you know about men anyway, huh?
At least I'm not a virgin.
Yeah, instead you're a skanky hoe!
Now put this down before someone gets hurt.
Now come along and
That's a good spot to end it. So I love that lavish OVA animation that is on display in Outlanders, and it's coming out on Blu-ray.
Cool little show. Love that dub. It's just so goofy.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of the original artist Joji Manabe. He's got a bunch of different titles, Caravan Kid, and it's his stuff. It's a specific attitude to the characters and the action. Very like mid to late '80s. Very fun. So this is an AstroRes remaster, right?
It is. Nobody could find the film elements, and so we were stuck with the original master from the mid '80s. And shockingly, it did amazing things with it. The contrast isn't quite what we would hope, but everything else is like razor sharp. We were able to resolve a lot of interlacing issues, and so it looks darn good, I must say. Way better than I expected.
It is among my favorite AstroRes upscales that we've done.
I think it's in that territory, that gray area where you look at it for a bit and you're not sure if it's an upscale or if it's native.
There are some places that's 100% true. There's other places where you can tell, but it looks so amazing you kind of don't care when you understand the film.
Yeah, the films are probably not coming back, so this is it's a half step down at most.
It's mostly in like those shots where characters are really small, which is where upscales can fall short. But it looks great. And the interlacing was a little tricky, but we got it to be super. We got it back to 24 eventually, and it looks really good. I was shocked how good this looks. Like, it looks great.
It really does.
Considering how also the master itself, the black levels are a little crushy, just a little bit, but I would not be disappointed by this disc at all.
And one thing from the historical perspective is that it has the Japanese audio, obviously, but it also has both English dubs. And in particular, I'm quite fond of the older English dub because it's a very important historical artifact. It was one of the earliest dubs produced by animes who would go on to make stuff like Cowboy Bebop, those great, and Giant Robo, those great dubs of the late 90s.
Our good friend Les.
Yep, good Les Claypool. I believe this was...
Did he work on this one?
I'm not 100% sure. I kind of want to say he did. I know he did Orgus, but
I don't know if he did this one.
This is that group, and also notably, the lead is played by Trish Ledoux, who is actually the editor-in-chief of An America magazine at the time, and not a professional voice actress. I think she does a pretty good job, but you can kind of tell that she's a dilettante working with professionals. It's got a charm to it. I've always liked it. The newer dub is a little bit more tightened up. Well, this is once again going to be coming to us over the winter, and we can go ahead and mark Outlanders as rescued. So like we said earlier, our upcoming slate of releases, some of these are right around the corner. The first new female prisoner Scorpion movie, the Roswell Conspiracies and Outlanders will be part of our October pre-orders, which are live now at Media OCD.
Yes.
So pretty cool, guys. Now we are at the end of it. So any final thoughts for our audience before we sign off?
Thanks for sticking with us for all these years, man. It's been a blast to be able to work on all these cool cartoons from even my childhood. You know, I'm glad people love this stuff and keep us employed.
Yeah, I mean, 2026 marks 20 years of Discotek, and so it's thanks to the fans that it's been able to carry on for this long, and we couldn't do it without everybody's support.
Well, I think technically it's 21 years this year. It's past.
Really?
Yeah, but
21.
But past the 20-year mark, right? That's a significant
Discotek
milestone.
is old enough to drink.
Yes.
And probably should.
Yeah.
Probably not.
We announced so much today, but I think it's hard to explain just how much is still coming that
yeah
could be approved right after this or could be months. There's just so much stuff that we're really looking forward to you guys finding out we're doing, because you're gonna freak out as much as you did tonight.
Even more good stuff is coming.
Yet.
Are you saying? Yeah, I'm about to say. Are you saying we understand anime fan once?
We definitely understand anime fan once.
Ever look back at all the stuff that we've done over like the however many years you've been doing this and just go, how are we alive?
Yes,
every day.
At one point, I was looking back at what we were doing at our maximum output, and it feels strange because it feels like the time is kind of filled now when we're doing a quarter or a third of it, and it's like we didn't fall behind doing 3 or 4 times as much. It's like, how?
I still don't know. I think there's something wrong with us.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I think there's something right with us.
We're the right kind of wrong for this kind of work.
Indeed.
All right. Well, with that, that's our summer program, our Otakon announcement bonanza. So to the audience out there, to all of our fans and friends, thank you for watching. Now go watch our stuff.
Bye-bye.